Return to our top story now, and a man has shot dead 4 people, including 3 children, at a Jewish school in France. Our Europe correspondent Philip Williams spoke with Rabbi Pinchas Goldschmidt. He's the president of the Conference of European Rabbis, and he says the shooting happened because there's an atmosphere of intolerance in France.
A terrible, shocking disaster today. Who do you blame?
The culprit is the killer, but a killer doesn't go out in the morning and just kills children who just wanted to go to school and learn. This happens because there is a background and there's a general atmosphere which allows such people to go and kill children.
Who's encouraging that atmosphere?
This atmosphere is being encouraged by politicians who send the message of intolerance, saying, for example, during this presidential elections in France, that some French people are not legitimate French people. There are some people in France who are not supposed to be there. Marine Le Pen, who just stated a few days ago that there is a problem that citizens in Paris are eating meat which is being slaughtered by Muslims. This statement basically says it is a message of intolerance. And when this trickles down to the far right, to some extreme people, they're taking the cue and they're saying, okay, let's go a step further, let's kill them. And the problem was that this message was taken over also by other presidential candidates. And this message gave even more legitimacy to them.
Well, even Nicolas Sarkozy himself.
Right. He took over this message, but at the end, a few days later, he changed his position again. But maybe for such people, it didn't make a difference anymore.
So are you feeling that French Jews are now more under attack, more embattled than they have been in past years?
It is, in the recent history of France, this is the most major attack and the most terrible ones. The last one was a few years ago when Halimi was killed, and it is a terrible day for French Jewry. I would like to hope that the responsible leaders of France, and I mean whether it's President Sarkozy or presidential candidate Hollande, are going to take France back on a track of tolerance to minorities. And for example, this law against burqa in France, or the attempted law in Holland against slaughtering animals according to halal and kosher traditions. Or let's take a look at, in Norway, Breivik, who went on a killing spree. He took inspiration from the leader of the extreme right of Holland, saying that Wilders is his hero. So we see here a pattern that political statements by politicians give an atmosphere of legitimacy to those acts.
And it's getting worse as far as you're concerned?
I would hope that today's terrible happening will give the signal to all the responsible politicians of Europe, whether it's Belgium, Ireland, France, Switzerland, and other places, that any suggestion that any part of the society, immigrant societies or religious minorities who live in Europe among them are less humane or less civilized or have less rights than everybody else, this is a sign which can lead to big, big problems.
And to murder.
And to murder.